What are you, an idiot? No way. You can't do that. What, are you kidding me? Has someone ever told you you can't? It was 2 p.m. on February 5th, 2003, ski club day, and we were heading to Wachusett Mountain. My friends and I had all brought our snowboard gear onto the bus to get ready so we wouldn't miss a precious moment once we got to the mountain. We got to the mountain and headed straight for the chairlift. On the ride up, it had been raining. We noticed that it was very icy. I buckled into my snowboard, took a breath of that crisp winter air, and confidently charged towards the biggest jump in the terrain park. Speed. Going up to the jump, I caught the edge of my snowboard on the snow going up the jump, which threw me off balance, and that's the last thing that I remember. I was told that I landed on my head. I wasn't wearing a helmet. The doctors told my parents that I probably wouldn't walk, talk, or eat on my own ever again. I was in a coma for 3 weeks, and I really don't remember an entire month. After a month, I was transported to a rehab hospital in Boston. Coming out of my coma, I had a burning desire to run out of the hospital, but I couldn't. Coming out of my coma, I had a burning desire to speak, but I couldn't. I couldn't speak, so the way that I communicated was with eye contact. Only eye contact. Then it was blinking. That progressed to mouthing words, and that progressed to a whisper. Eventually, I was able to get my speaking voice back with the help of my speech therapist. The first thing I did was set the big goal of running out of the hospital. Everything fell into place after that. I shared it with all my family, therapists, and doctors. In order to be running out of the hospital, I had to be walking, talking, and functioning exactly like I was prior to my accident. Everyone knew my goal, so then it just became a matter of doing the work every day. Every day, whether I felt like it or not, getting up, and quite literally putting one foot in front of the other, doing what I could control. I would start my day off with a shower. Not unusual, but my occupational therapist would have to teach me how to shower again. Picture that. I would need the help from my therapist while I was in the shower at one of my most vulnerable moments. She would teach me what order I needed to do things in. That the water came before the soap, for instance. Then I would get dressed and have breakfast. After that, I started my morning therapy sessions. I started with physical therapy, then occupational therapy, and finally, my last session of the morning was speech therapy. As I regained my strength, I began mouthing words without any sound. That progressed to whispers and finally talking. Once I was able to talk, I had to continue to work with my speech therapist to regain the strength of the muscles in my throat. Dog. cat. In my head, I was screaming, "It's a dog and a cat, I know what that is." However, because of the accident, the words weren't coming out on the other side. Once I had set the goal, I had to make sure that I was being coachable to achieve it. Once you set your goal, are you being coachable to give yourself the best chance to achieve it? In my case, that was to the therapist. And for you, that can be your coaches, your mentors, or the experts. By setting goals and being coachable to achieve them, you give yourself the best chance of reaching them. Those are the building blocks of being successful. After speech therapy, I headed back to my room. And waiting for me that day was my grandparents, my mom's parents. Now, at this point, I still wasn't smiling or laughing or really being my old self. My grandfather had brought me in a gift that day, a gift to lighten up and to be my old self. It's something that we all point to that really aided me in my recovery. That gift was a fart machine. As soon as they gave it to me, I put it to work. At the time, I was in a wheelchair, and my grandparents wanted to take me to lunch. At the hospital, the cafeteria was in the basement. To get there, you took the elevator, and then you had to go down this long hallway. I can picture it now. My grandmother was pushing the wheelchair. And my grandfather and I thought it would be a great idea to stash the fart machine right in the wheelchair. We waited until we passed by a doctor. They couldn't believe it. They thought it was my grandmother. As I'm sure you can imagine, the fart machine was a big hit with all of the kids back on the second floor unit. It allowed the chance for everyone to laugh and be a kid for a moment. Whether you're looking to become the #1 person in your field or you're recovering from a life-threatening snowboarding accident, the same key lessons apply. Remain open and coachable to achieve your goals. Once you have that, you have to make sure that you're not taking yourself too seriously. Don't forget to laugh. It can be the best medicine. What are you, an idiot? No. You're a star. No way. Yes way. You can't do that. You can do that. What? Are you kidding me? What? You're the best. When someone tells you you can, listen. Oh, by the way, I did run out of the hospital. Thank you.